Back again.
We're still in module 1, which is, again, the foundations of wedding photography. So this lesson is preparing for emergencies.
Hey guys, I'm Chris and this is Ray.
We are Dallas-Fort Worth wedding photographers with over 8 years of experience in the industry, and we are passionate about educating and equipping other photographers in their craft and business.
Yeah, so one of the ways we are doing this is this series here on YouTube, where we are going to teach you the foundational pillars that you need to make it as a wedding photographer.
All right, so let's get into it.
Preparing for emergencies.
Having backup plans, knowing what to do in case something really bad happens.
In case the inevitable
So,
happens.
If you don't have a plan, emergencies can absolutely derail your business,
Yeah.
ruin someone's wedding day, and just become a massive headache. So as a wedding photographer, there are various kinds of emergencies that you could encounter as you're running your business. Usually these are going to be things that keep you from being there on the wedding day. So there's going to be emergencies that are kind of like day of emergencies that you have really short notice of. So things like being sick, super sick, having transportation issues, or maybe you're a parent and something emergency wise is happening with your child. So these are going to be like day of emergencies where you really don't have a lot of chance to notify your clients of the emergency. You're also going to have emergencies that are have a longer runway, I guess, of
Window, yeah.
Notice. So things like if you get some kind of injury a couple weeks or months before the wedding, or you suddenly have a scheduling conflict, that could even be something like, so scheduling conflicts could be anything from, say you have a death in the family and the funeral is scheduled for the day of a wedding and it's somebody really close to you. That is like a family emergency where it's a really hard decision to be placed in. Do I shoot this wedding that they're expecting me at, or do I put my family first? So that's going to be like a longer window or longer runway of an emergency. And then you're going to have emergencies where you're just incapacitated. Possibly.
I laughed at that
This
point.
is not something that maybe you'll ever encounter, but if you do, you need to have a plan in place. So by incapacitated, I mean like you can't communicate anything. Maybe you're dead.
Maybe you died.
Maybe you're in a coma. Maybe you are missing. I don't know. All kinds of things. So how are you going to handle these emergencies? Well, the best thing you can do is, first of all, you're going to want to have a good photo will, which is not like, a last will and testament. It's just going to be a document that tells a support person what to do. And you're going to want to have a strong support network that you can reach out to. Yep. And then you're going to want to, again, have a good contract.
A good contract.
Like we talked in our last video. So, okay, let's get into the photo will. There's not like a better, like an emergency plan. So first of all, you're going to want to have a support person who knows how to access this document in the event of an emergency. So you're going to want to keep it in a wirelessly accessible location that a support person has access to. So a Google document or something like that. So what should go in your photo will? I put that in quotation marks every time I say it. Your emergency document. So again, this is going to be a document that is going to have instructions for like anything that it would tell a support person how to handle your clients. So you're going to want instructions for how everything should be handled if you cannot be present or if you are not functioning enough to give those instructions yourself. So that's going to be things like links to your calendar, links to your client's contacts, probably your presets and editing style in case they have to outsource your editing, your shooting preferences, and then all of your system logins. So if you have like an online gallery host, like PicTime, your CRM, like Dubsado, all of those things. So and then you can also decide how you want this handled. So you could put in your emergency document that, if I'm unable to handle this, give the clients an option of a full refund, or for you could have like a list in your document with 5 photographers that you would trust to take your place and their numbers, things like that your support person can go through and say, like, call the people up and say, hey, I'm trying to find somebody to cover this wedding and, whatever. So it's just really going to be a living document that you should be constantly updating. Or I guess if you have links to your CRM that would update that. But just something where a document that lays out exactly what to do. You're going to also want to include your bank information and your insurance policy if the support person needs to handle financial things. So if the clients decide they want a refund, then your support person is going to need to be able to access either your insurance policy, your bank account to send them a refund, or if they're going to have an associate shoot this wedding, you're going to want to be able to pay. You're going to want your support person to be able to pay that associate. So I am planning on creating a document that you can use as a template for this. It's not created yet, but when it is, I will update you guys. Best way to get that update is to get on my newsletter. Just a little plug. So, okay, next up, you're going to want to have a strong support network.
Absolutely.
So where do you find a support network?
Yeah.
A lot of people will rely on Facebook groups, but that's kind of tricky because you can't always vet the people in those, but there is most likely a Facebook group that is local to your area. For example, I'm in DFW and there's a couple of different Facebook groups like Texas Wonder Togs and Dallas Photography Sisters. So just do kind of a search on Facebook with something like the name of your city, your location, followed by photography, and then a bunch of groups, if there are any, should pop up, which usually there are, especially for big cities.
And also, as you second shoot and you're in the industry, ask people, what they're a part of, and how to network through that.
And just as you are second shooting, start making friends with those people.
Yeah, make friends.
Reach out, find people that you admire.
You'll find buddies.
Yeah.
There'll be some people you work for that y'all will just click and y'all become best friends.
Yeah. Be brave. Ask people out to coffee. If there's a photographer in your area that you admire and you respect and you love their work and you think they're cool, ask them out for coffee. Just start to make friends. Everybody loves, I think, to be thought of. So don't be afraid to just reach out.
Yeah.
And then you can also train a family or friend not to be a photographer. That was not clear on this, but how to handle emergencies for you.
I mean, in her case, she did train me how to become a photographer.
I did.
But
yeah, I do have a really close friend who I have kind of talked with her about, like, she is actually my legacy contact in my phone. So if something ever were to happen to me, she would get a copy. I mean, of course, Chris would too, but whatever.
Chances are something might happen to both of us, so who knows?
Yeah. So anyway, so have somebody like that who just knows what to do in an emergency.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah. So that's all there is to that.
Next, we're going to chat just a little bit about what it's like to be a photographer who shoots mostly local weddings and what it is like to be a destination photographer.
Yeah. So tune in and see which kind you need to be.
See you over there.